Donald Trump's unexpected victory in the election became a moment that redefined American politics and left a lasting impact on both the nation and the world. Seen initially as an outsider with little chance of winning, Trump's success revealed a deep desire for change within a large segment of the American electorate. His campaign took a unique approach, relying on a blend of populist rhetoric, direct media engagement, and untraditional strategies that allowed him to connect with voters in an unprecedented way. He spoke directly to the concerns of Americans who felt left behind by the political establishment, particularly on issues such as economic security, immigration, and a sense of national identity. Throughout the campaign, Trump's slogan, "Make America Great Again," became a rallying cry for millions who believed that traditional politics had failed to address their needs. Trump's message focused on themes of economic revitalization, particularly in areas hit hard by manufacturing job losses, trade deals, and what many saw as unfair international competition. He voiced strong opposition to NAFTA and other trade agreements, which he argued were detrimental to American workers. His promise to bring jobs back and renegotiate trade deals that, in his view, had drained American industry resonated deeply with voters in the Rust Belt and beyond. One of the most striking aspects of Trump's campaign was his approach to media and public communication. Unlike traditional candidates who relied heavily on polished statements and carefully curated public appearances, Trump spoke candidly and often provocatively, particularly through social media platforms like Twitter. This direct line of communication allowed him to bypass traditional media filters and speak directly to the American people, shaping the narrative on his terms. This approach garnered both criticism and praise, but it undoubtedly amplified his message and kept him at the forefront of the news cycle. In an era where people are often skeptical of mainstream media, Trump's unfiltered style appealed to voters who appreciated his bluntness and saw him as a leader who wasn't afraid to challenge the establishment. Trump's rallies became iconic, drawing large, enthusiastic crowds that were often overlooked by the media but signaled the powerful movement behind his campaign. The rallies were a vital part of his strategy, building energy and a sense of community among supporters while reinforcing his outsider status and commitment to change. The energy of these rallies became a phenomenon, with thousands attending across the country, especially in key swing states where Trump needed to win over undecided voters. His connection with his supporters was palpable, and it extended beyond policy to a shared sense of frustration with the status quo. The campaign also capitalized on a new era of digital strategy, mobilizing a powerful online presence that encouraged voter turnout and allowed Trump's team to target specific groups more effectively. Digital ads, data-driven outreach, and a strong social media campaign created a new model for engaging voters directly. Trump's team used these tools to tap into sentiments and issues often overlooked by mainstream campaigns, connecting with groups that hadn't traditionally participated in large numbers. The polling data leading up to the election largely underestimated Trump's appeal. Many analysts had dismissed the possibility of his victory, focusing on traditional polling techniques that missed a significant number of voters who were reluctant to share their views openly. This phenomenon, sometimes referred to as the silent or shy voter effect, contributed to the surprise of his victory. Many of these voters were not accurately represented in the polling data, skewing projections and reinforcing a sense of complacency among analysts who didn't believe Trump's unconventional campaign could succeed. As the election reached its final stages, Trump's momentum only grew stronger. He spent the last days of the campaign rallying intensely across the country, making multiple stops each day and focusing heavily on swing states. His energy and relentless schedule became emblematic of his commitment, creating a sharp contrast with his opponent's approach. This final push solidified his connection with voters who saw him as a candidate willing to go to extraordinary lengths to earn their support. When the election results came in, they marked a turning point in U.S. history, as Trump's victory represented more than just a political win. It was a message that a significant portion of Americans wanted a dramatic change. His victory challenged assumptions about the direction of the country, raising questions about the influence of traditional media, polling reliability, and the power of grassroots movements in shaping national elections. The win was both a reflection of and a response to the frustrations and aspirations of millions of Americans who felt their voices had been ignored. In the aftermath of his victory, Trump's impact on the political landscape was profound. His administration took a different approach to foreign policy, economics, and social issues, focusing on an America First philosophy that prioritized national interests. This approach led to a series of significant changes, from tax reforms and deregulatory policies to shifts in international alliances. His presidency also sparked intense debate on issues of trade, immigration, and military involvement abroad, with policies that challenged long-standing norms and often polarized public opinion. Moreover, Trump's victory initiated a lasting shift within the Republican Party, reshaping its values and priorities. The party saw a realignment as it adopted some of Trump's populist policies and embraced a broader range of issues to appeal to his base. This change reflected an evolving conservative movement that prioritized economic nationalism, a focus on domestic manufacturing, and a more skeptical stance toward globalization. On the global stage, Trump's election was a wake-up call for countries around the world, signaling that a new era of politics had arrived. His policies and rhetoric questioned established international agreements and brought issues like trade deficits and defense spending into the spotlight. This approach led to renegotiated trade deals, increased military spending commitments from NATO allies, and a tougher stance on China, which were all parts of Trump's vision for recalibrating America's role globally. The lasting legacy of Trump's victory and subsequent presidency remains a subject of intense discussion. His impact on American politics, society, and international relations has left a complex and often divisive legacy that continues to shape current events. For many, his victory was a triumph of the people's voice over the political elite. For others, it represented a break from tradition that led to a polarized political climate. Regardless of one's perspective, Trump's victory remains a defining moment in recent American history, illustrating the power of an outsider to disrupt the political landscape and fundamentally alter the course of the nation.